Hello everyone, my name is Mark Newman. When I first started out in work, I sat down with my boss and said, how do I help customers increase their profitability? He said there's three key areas to focus on, and if you focus on these three areas in the same order, you'll help your customers increase their profitability. Now, working as an accountant for a number of years, I've found that to be true. So what are these areas? The first one is sales. And we're actually going to spend some time going through this one today. The second one is margins. And the last one is expenses. And I'm going to cover these two off in later periods. Now, why do we focus on sales first? The last thing we want to do is reduce our expenses and potentially reduce our capacity when sales could actually increase and fill that capacity. So speaking of capacity, what's the first area we look at? One is capacity. Do we have the ability to, if we increase our sales by 20%, 50% or even 100%, to meet our customers' needs? If we don't, there's no point going out and selling to them first. What we have to do is say, can we increase our capacity, and how do we do that? For example, do we need additional staff to come on? Do we need additional resources? Now, that doesn't say we have to go spend it straight away, but we need to know that we can access those potentially quickly or as they're going to be needed. The next thing we need to do is look at what are the products we're selling. When a lot of businesses start out, they sell anything to everyone because they're driving sales and they're trying to drive profitability. But as a business grows, they continue to keep selling the same things, which often leads to us selling the wrong products or products that their customers don't value as much, and they're potentially not making the same profitability. So by reviewing the products we're selling and making sure they're relevant to our customers, or alternatively, do we actually need to bring in new product range because customers' trends have changed or customers' needs have changed? Then, who's the easiest person to sell to? It's obviously existing customers. Now, this doesn't mean just going out and flogging anything to them because they've already had that trusted relationship. But this actually means getting an understanding of their needs. So, for example, when we're at their premises or when we're providing a quote for them to do additional work, are we looking around and are we making suggestions? Not just things to add profit to our bottom line, but making suggestions that they would actually add value to them. Remember, we're actually experts in our field. So sometimes whilst a customer may have an idea, they may not fully understand the implications, and there may be better alternatives for them. The other thing we need to look at is, obviously, if they're happy with their work already, can they refer us on to other people? So we can ask for referrals, or do we even need to put a referral program in place where there are rewards for this? For example, when I bought my car, they offered me a referral bonus if I referred people to the dealership. Once we've looked at that, then we actually need to look for new customers. So, where do we find new customers? Now, this is important these days. There are so many avenues to meet customers, and everyone's out selling Facebook, Google, and every sort of advertising. What we need to do is work out, firstly, who is our ideal customer? Once we know who our ideal customer is, how do we reach them? For example, what platform, what media, example, what association or magazines do they read? Once we've found out that, we can then work out actually how to target them. So we need to have a clear understanding of who our right person is and how do we actually get in front of them. Then once we've actually managed to get in front of them, how do we actually convert the sale? So for example, let's say in your line of work, the customer on average gets 3 quotes. Therefore, on average, you should be winning a third of jobs. But as a lot of your work will actually come from referrals from existing customers, they're actually going to be essentially getting less quotes, or they're going to have a higher trust factor, and therefore you're more likely to win it. So we need to look at how many quotes we're actually winning, and is that number acceptable? For example, is it too low or is it even too high? And then that might lead us to say, well, actually, no, it's too low. Perhaps I actually need some training, for example, in sales to help me do this so that I understand the objections and I understand the motivations. So the first thing we need to do is looking at helping a business is to look at its sales. If we can help a business increase its sales where it does have the capacity to do so, and we're not affecting its, when we come to later discussions, margins or increasing expenses too high, this is the first way to raise the profit of the business, because the sale less the margin will go straight to the bottom line and profitability. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out and ask. Thank you for listening. Mark Newman.